Alright, and we are live. Rolling in, everyone. Welcome to V0oidathon Day 6, and the opening run today is going to be Banjo-Kazooie. This game's fucking sweet, and Crosby is going to be running 100%. And yeah, you can go ahead and start whenever you're ready, Crosby.
Alright, thanks for having me on, Void. I'm here with Asmi. He's going to help commentate a little bit. And thanks for being here with me, Asmi.
No problem.
Alright, so we'll go ahead and start, and then maybe kind of explain how we got the moves after we get going here. But alright, let's see. Oh. 1 second, I just messed up my timer.
Oop.
Let's try it. Alright, that should be better. Alright, here we go. So this is the 100% speed run of Banjo-Kazooie. So basically you have to get all the...
Good luck. Good luck.
You have to get all the notes though, and all the jiggies, and all the honeycomb pieces in the game, as well as beat the game. So.
Starting off is pretty simple. Just gonna get these honeycombs around Spiral Mountain. Not too bad. You'll see. Yep, that's just the fastest movement without talent shot. So, like right now. So he's just gonna make his way around Spiral Mountain, getting all the honeycomb. Alright, so coming up here is a small trick called bottle skip. Let's see if we can get it. Basically, once you get to the top of the mountain, Bottles wants to talk. But if you stand right on the corner of this ledge... Oh, he didn't get it. If you stand right on the corner of the ledge, you're like outside of his range, so you can just jump over his like trigger, which saves like 3 seconds or something. Not that...
I think I went just a couple pixels too far there.
Yeah, just
It's all good.
So right now, you'll see that you can only roam Flutter, but you'll see once he enters Mumbo's Mountain, he'll randomly have... So, before he started the run, he set up this glitch called Furnace Fun Moves, which allows him to have all the moves once he enters Mumbo's Mountain. He does this by making a file up until Furnace Fun beforehand, and then if you game over in a minigame, then start a new file, then you can get all your moves right when you enter Mumbo's Mountain. For this, we get all the moves except for eggs, red feathers, and gold feathers. We don't get eggs and red feathers just because we want to read, and we can't get gold feathers because you need red feathers to get to the gold feather. So yeah. Coming up here is one of the... I would say it's the most difficult thing for beginners, Tinker's Tower, or like Slogodies. So normally in this room, you're supposed to Tinker, the termite. Oh, Mumbo's supposed to transform you into a termite, and then you climb up. but we can abuse the slope and climb up as we can. What happens is that there's a slope timer that starts when your shadow is on the slope. So then, if you jump off right away, so your shadow goes off, and then jump back on, you can keep doing it as long as the slope timer doesn't. So we use that to get to the top of the mountain. Say or something. Probably less, but yeah.
And by the way, these notes are a little bit slippery on this level for some reason. So sometimes it can be hard to grab them, but that seemed to go pretty well for me there. So I notice a lot of runners missing those notes. Sometimes you have to go backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
I think they greased them up or something.
Mumbo's Mountain is like the easiest to not die, but it's really hard to be good. Right? Just it has so much precise movement. It's just crazy to be good at it. Now coming up with Conga. The plan here is to shoot him twice, and then jump to the side and hopefully shoot him from the third time on this. It's a nice little time. So nice. No Conga memes today. Thank God.
Right.
By the way, Crosby, there is some choppiness happening on your end. Are you dropping frames?
I'm not dropping frames according to OBS, but it could be that it's having a hard time processing. I don't have the greatest computer, so it could be that. Maybe I'll take a look at that in just a second.
Yeah, no worries.
Alright.
Alright, so now that he has eggs, he's making it back to the huts. And then gonna go do... It's a pretty clean Mumbo's Mountain.
This is low-key the hardest thing in the game. It's Juju.
Pretty bad.
Lots of memes
The
happen.
worst is
there.
when the Grublins are on screen, and then it makes it, then it's like at 10 frames a second. Then you just can't move.
Yes.
But you did it well. Going.
Yeah, between Konga and Juju, you can lose some time real easily.
Yeah. Here, you'll see that he's sunk right to the... That's called a quick... What's happening is, in the air, Talon Trot, and then there's an animation. If you are in that animation while you're going in, then you'll just sink to the bottom until the animation is over. It happens because, like, the slide when Banjo's jumping, there's one frame where the game checks if you're holding Z. If you are holding, then the game will keep you in Talon Trot. And it'll take you out of Talon Trot. So that's just when the game decides to animate. Here's another slope abuse trick to get this jiggy. It's time to make it to puzzles. Oh boy. Right here, you'll notice it uses the Get to Clunkers puzzle. This is just like another thing that FFM is used because you learn Shock Spring or whatever it is in TDC, Treasure Trove Cove, which is the next level. Since you have FFM activated, you can use that shock pad now and not have to back. It's another. Now he's just headed to Treasure Trove Cove. This level is pretty hard. Definitely one of the hardest starting at. I definitely say that the beginning 2 levels at least are really hard, then it gets slightly better. Mostly this level because it has a lot of flying. Flying is hard to control, even for like top runners. This level is actually, I find it quite a bit of everything. Has a lot of flying. Has a few quick, lots of stuff. A few tricks. Now here he's learning red fight just for the collectibles, so he get 30 or so, 20 starting. Here's another quick dive. I see. That one people struggle with starting. Yeah, stand on the box for like half a second, then walk off. Because if you then
come on,
that one frame where you get everything Z like appears too late. So then you'll enter the water before that happens. Green flying section. Yeah, that flying section is really hard. It's easy once you get muscle memory for it. Memory, it takes a long time. Definitely, like, if anyone was able to get that consistent within like less than very, very fast. Here are stairs. Stairs are everyone's worst because they just never work. And they lag a lot.
Another quick dive here.
Yeah. I guess I should mention it. You'll see that getting a lot of jiggies, but he's not doing. You skip the jiggy jigs, like the dances for them, when you're in flight or you're in the water, and a few other scenarios too. So ideally, we would want to skip as many as we could. Almost 5 seconds. Here's a witch switch. There's one in each level, but we don't hit all of them. We hit some of them. We can just get without having to hit them. They spawn a jiggy in the lair. Nice. So there was a trick called Nippers. Right after the text, you can jump straight into Nipper and the inside. Which sounds cruel, but it's fast. Coming up here is Leaky. Leaky's just a bucket that we used. Like, remove all the water. And you don't have to go down there. You can set it up. Keep 2 eggs and start walking. Now the question arises, how does pooping eggs into a bucket patch it? No one knows.
Hello, lag. Old friend.
That was a really solid flying section. That flying section is very hard. Everyone messes. That went really well. Got the honeycomb and the Jinjo in the same beak bomb. Let's see that. Leaky is mighty. Now here is just sandcastle. We're gonna be abusing a death whip if we can. Ideally, what's gonna happen is that he gets the Jiggy, and then before he lands he'll land on the crab. Ideally, work with the Jiggy in his hand. The animation and work back to the start if he can do it. Because the crab can sometimes.
Here we go.
Ah, missed it. That's fine.
So
Now you can see the 10th Jiggy
oh
jig.
shit, I'm dead.
That grunt up there can be really bad sometimes. There, like Gruntling can just like and then the world off, then you land right on the crab. That's the Wombo come. You're activating for a shortcut later on in the game. Now it's time for Clanker's. This level is pretty hard as well, but it's not. I wouldn't put it as hard as the first 2 levels. This level is very punishing for me.
Yeah, just ignore what you're seeing here. Just ignore that. It didn't happen.
For people who have may have is based on cycles a lot. The two cycles that it's based off of is the two, well, group and basically the same thing, and the bolt. So right away, right when he enters the level, fish at the bottom, like all the way under clankers, starting to move like, in a circle around it. This fish starts its cycle globally. So right when he enters this level, that fish is moving. So we gotta plan it perfectly so that when he gets there, the fish, so it can give him air in perfect. He can get here. Because what happens is, after you turn the key up, you rise up, you get the blue, then you shoot eggs at clankers. And that tooth where all the timeless is going to be, or time save. There's like 3/4 cycles you crosby one, which is safe. The beginner one is the first. There's another slightly faster beginner cycle that saves like then the intermediate cycle, which does a pipe jump at the beginning that saves 2 seconds over the fast beginner, and then there's the which is the most advanced cycle. It saves 8 seconds or so over the intermediate. The advanced cycle is like, I've heard a lot of people say it's the hardest thing to learn in the requires extremely precise movement throughout the entire platforming section and really good.
Yeah, I think Step did cycle.
Yeah. For the longest time, he was the only person. That's why, well, yeah, that's why it's called the stiff cycle. More recently, though, more people have been getting it. One has been getting it. Is 3rd place now. Aganator, 2nd place. But it's still pretty hard for him. And then other people have gotten it too. I don't know if many people know him, but Damo is, I think, 4th. He's gotten it quite a few times in runs. It's pretty hard. But Steve is the one who has it like 100% consistent. Here coming up is the rings. Rings, in my opinion, is the most fun. As long as it goes well, which probably can be said about anything. A good time on the clock here is like 20. 22 is really good, and 23 is like god. 23 is really, really good, but it is possible. Now here coming up, right when he leaves this loading zone, here starts another cycle. This bolt cycle. You see how this bolt is going to go up and down? He has to do the rest of this route as well as he can, so he can make the most optimal bolt cycle. So he can get on top of Clanker while the bolt is rising, or even before it rises. Nice. So right there, he did a backflip while he was falling, so he can get the honeycomb and then get back up to the platform and then jump across. It's a really cool trick. It's kind of hard to do, but it takes a lot of muscle memory.
A lot, yes. Here's a pretty cool section.
Yeah, this section is real nice.
So with the,
Normally, you're just supposed to gold feather across, but if you just walk along the line right at the edge, you won't just at all.
yeah, it's pretty neat little thing. You could just stand there all day; it wouldn't hit you. Wonder who found that. So if you get the if you get the backflip at the end of a roll like that, and you don't quite finish the animation of backflipping in the air and hit the water, it kind of extends your backflip. So if you do that, what I did with the right timing, it is faster, but obviously that backflip didn't really help anything there. So if you saw me do that before grabbing that last ginger, that's what that was. Okay, let's see.
Coming up, snippets is probably one of the hardest things in Clank. I'm pretty sure percent of the time you can get it, like you can do it, but it's still hard to do consistently because it still depends on the RNG, like your movement. Every single movement here matters. Ideally,
Yeah, that's happening.
ideally, you would make it to the middle of that platform so that the Jiggy spawns on him while that's cutscene. Still went well though. Snippets can go so much worse. Sometimes the crabs just won't crawl. You just end up losing a minute.
Yeah, the crabs can be kind of frustrating sometimes.
Now here's the final swim. Right as you enter the water, there's roughly a minute, 10 seconds left, because you only have a minute until you drown. And in that minute, you can perfectly get this last jig, the last 7 notes, and the last honey. So we get all of that, then we drown, go back to the start.
And so the order that I do these in is important too. If you grab the honeycomb first, it's a little scuffed and it's not really recognized in the BK community. But, so you always want to die on the honeycomb. Right, that's me.
Yeah, sure.
Just kidding. Some people do a different way where they get the honeycomb and then go grab the notes and then die on the jiggy, but it really doesn't matter. So,
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all, since you drown it after the same amount of time anyway.
Okay, so real quick, Crosby, whenever you'll have time, if it's possible for you to mute Discord audio and me, because I'm gonna switch to my audio, because we're having a lot of issues with grabbing Discord audio from your end, so...
oh, okay. Yeah, just mute the... Okay, I got you. Do you want me to
Yeah.
leave my mic unmuted?
Now have your mic muted on stream
Okay.
and Discord audio not come through desktop because I'll capture that on my end.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, thanks for doing that. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah, whenever you'll have time, just tell me.
I'm gonna fill this puzzle in,
Awesome.
and then, like as soon as it goes to that little animation. So right now, I'll do it.
Alright, awesome.
Winky. Interesting.
So there, you try to enter talent draw if you're near a loading zone. Like as you're going into the loading zone, it's just like, I don't know, probably not even stacking it faster, but it just kind of shows you that animation.
Yeah. If you can, right as you enter the loading zone, get into talent shot, so then it's as if the animation wasn't even a thing. Yeah, it saves like half a second, I think.
Okay, yeah. Things you go
Here,
for.
you're using a few small slope abuse tricks in this little tunnel, so he doesn't have to take damage. Normally, you're supposed to use the boots to go across, but that's slow, and we don't care if we take damage. Well, we do care, but we want to be fast. Because we're speed runners.
Yeah, so we try not to get damaged using the slope abuse, but then inevitably, like right here, you end up taking like a hit. So, but it's okay, we're gonna save that.
Yeah, luckily there's a honeycomb box right here, so you can get back to full health. It's really lucky for us. Because doing this room without healing with that honeycomb box, it is possible, and it is what like you would do optimally, but it means you have to have like perfect health management for the beginning part, which is hard to do. Because there's a small cycle here for the leaf that's just going around. You'll see it in a second. That leaf right there, it starts moving around in a circle at the beginning of the level. And if you make a mistake, then you can be off. So which means you'll have to damage boost through the swamp to get to the pole. Yeah. Flying out of bounds to get into V0's peak. That route is really hard. It's pretty cool, but it's pretty hard and it doesn't even save that much time. Overall, all the FP early 450 skip and reverse B adventure route, it saves, I think, roughly like a minute 30. And I'm pretty sure, I believe that most people don't even save time with it because B movement is really hard and it takes a lot of practice and to get used to. The best you can do is like roughly, for that entire B segment, the best you can do is like 1 minute and 40 seconds. And a lot of people clock in at like 2:30-ish, which almost completely negates the time save of the FPA route.
I thought it saved a lot more, like both clips plus RBA.
Yeah, 450 skip is the one that doesn't save that much time. Like 450, there's two clips, FP early and 450 skip. 450 skip only saves like 10 seconds.
Oh wow.
Yeah. The main time saver is just FP early and the B stuff, which is like a minute 30.
Fair.
So, like sometimes you'll see a lot of runners do FP early but not 450 skip just because the clip is hard.
I think you're one of them, right?
Yeah, I do that, yeah. Although I have recently started trying to do 450 skip, and I did PB yesterday with it, but I failed it in my run. So it was quite the mistake, probably.
Cutscene overlap there, always nice.
Yeah. But he shot the Croctus and hit the switch at the same time, which overlaps both cutscenes. So it saves a bit of time, a few seconds. That's a trick that's not in the RBA route, since you don't have to hit that witch switch in that route. Because the B. Mr. Bottle Song. Nah. Leave that for Ducky's Common. So yeah, the Bubble Gloop Swamp route, it's like the same in everything, in all the 100% routes, mainly because you have to follow the Croctuses around. Like those little crocodile pillars, statues that you have to shoot eggs into, they like pretty much determine our entire route. So there's not many options that we can do. Here coming up is Tip Top. Tip Top basically is a matching game, memory game, where all the color turtles sing, and then you just have to bust each of them in the order that Tip Top tells you. And the order he gives you is RNG. So it's kind of hard to remember them. It can lose you some time. Just 3 rounds. The first one he does 3, second he does 5, third he does 7. The 5th and 7th, well, the 5 and 7 one can be hard, but we just write it down because we can't memorize them. At least not most people.
Sorry. I think it's purple. Uh-oh. Wrote down the wrong one.
Oops.
We're just gonna do it again. Let's try this again. Okay.
Got it?
Uh-huh.
Nice. Very nice. So now he's just gonna damage boost through the swamp, save a few seconds. Instead of using all the boots, since he has all this health now. This timer jiggy can be hard sometimes, but if you are consistent with your camera and practice the movement a bunch, then it should be easy every time. Clean. Now here's our first transformation in the game. In Mumbo's hut.
I'm gonna turn into a crocodile.
Nice. You might see it in this run and you might not, or you might not. But there's a roughly 1 in 40 chance that Mumbo turns you into a washing machine by accident, which loses like almost 10 seconds. And it's completely RNG, so whenever that happens to someone in a run, it just like sucks. I think it happened in Stivity Bobo's world record run right now.
Yeah.
Like in Click Clock. And there's roughly, I believe it's 1 in 80 chance that he accidentally transform you into a T-Rex. Well, he doesn't transform you into a T-Rex, but he says something. I can't remember exactly what he says.
Yeah, like he mentions it, right?
Yeah. He mentions the T-Rex from like the next game. And he was like, nope, we'll save that for next game. That's even rarer. As far as I know, the record for worst Mumbo RNG is 2 washies and 1 T-Rex in 1 run by Gamer. The 4th place on the leaderboard. Which is crazy. Because there's only 4 transformations in the game. And to get 3 wrong ones is crazy.
Here's where we take advantage of having the moves learned already.
Yeah.
Notice I'm able to use the speed shoot.
Hard, but with shoes it's pretty good. So if you saw a bit earlier, I forgot to mention it. Before he started collecting all these Yumblies, he went around and collected all these collectibles. Mainly because A, you can't lose time under the timer, and B, if you let V0o get ahead of you at the beginning, then he'll just slow down for the rest of the round. He does that for round 1 and round 2, but not so much in round 3. So if he gets like 5 or so before you collect any, then he'll just slow down really slow for the rest of the round. V0o is always scary. It's easy, but at the back of everyone's mind, I think a lot of people are worried about failing it. Always in the back of my mind.
Yes, definitely. It's one of those.
I actually think I failed it just a few days ago.
Yeah. There's a couple people that.
Which sucks for me.
Yeah.
Which sucks for me because in my route, the RBA route, Bubble Group is at the very, very end of the end of the run. So failing wild here, it's kind of rough. This third round switches between Yumblies and Grumblies, the red and yellow, like every 10 seconds. Whenever there's a 1 in the timer, it switches. This round's pretty hard sometimes. Looks good.
Yay, we did it.
Nice.
Come on, bro.
This Vile Jiggy is kind of hard to get because he spawns it towards like the middle of the room, and Vile has this like little circle around him, where if you're in the circle, then he won't talk to you. But if you're out of the circle, then you like go close to him, then he will talk to you. It's just a big mess. Ideally, when you finish the game, you want to be as close as possible to him, on the side of him that's closest to the middle of the room, so you can get the Jiggy, then leave right away without having to talk to him.
Follow me, Dragonfly. Come on. Yeah,
Another.
hey.
I think almost every level death warps, except for Mumbo's. Click Clock doesn't death warp either. It voids out.
Bubba's Mountain, I guess. Normally you would get this next Jiggy as the B if you did that advanced route with the reverse B adventure. But here, I'm gonna use a little
This trick is pretty
thing
cool.
like intended, where we could just do like this instead of dropping through a load zone into that hat. So.
I feel like a lot of people just straight up forget this Jiggy. Because
I do about on half of my runs. No joke. For some reason, it's easy to forget.
Yep.
No lie. I guess because you have to do the shock spring twice, and it's like, I don't know. It's like the same picture in your mind, maybe. So you get all mixed up. Maybe. Alright, and
Gobi's Valley. This is the next level that we're going to. This level is pretty hard. It's pretty scuffed. It's infamous
is
for having like a million different routes.
yeah.
It's pretty crazy because I believe the times difference between the most optimal route and the like beginner route is like, I think it can be up to a minute. Almost. It depends what you would consider a beginner route, I guess. But yeah, in general, there's a lot of things that can be done in this level.
So here we're going to actually start grabbing the ring, flying, using a couple of different tricks. So that first one is speed shoes. Obviously, helped us some height advantage because of the momentum you have going into that jump. Not height advantage, but maybe we'll jump further out.
Yep. Normally, you're supposed to go through all of them in flight, but we have ways of not going through in flight. Like, we have ways of getting them without flight. So we do that. The main thing is that every time you enter a loading zone, and you go back to that one spot, then that same ring spawns again. So we use that ring like 5 times, ideally.
And
Yeah.
they're
We don't get all Mumbo tokens for 100% now. We just get what's on the game totals.
And you notice we were able to skip actually opening up there.
So right there was
Uh,
Gobi.
Little clip.
There's a somewhat new version of Gobi Clip. What people used to do was beak barge straight into Gobi. But then Haginator, the second place right now, he found that if you just get into Talon Shot, jump and hold A and wiggle the joystick, you can clip right into Jinxie. And then that's a new way of doing Gobi Clip. And wouldn't you know it, it changed the route once again.
Yeah, of course. About every month or so, you gotta change things up, right? No, it's not that often.
The funny thing is, in that new route that people use with the new Gobi Clip, like the most advanced route, I've recently timed Gobi Clip to only save 6 seconds. So, it kind of sucks when you don't get it, considering it only saves like 6 seconds.
Oh.
6 seconds
There I was going for a camera manipulation trick to actually get on that ring before it spawned. It spawns based on if it's in the camera's view or not, basically. So what happened there is I just didn't have my camera set up correctly when I went to go to it. So we'll have to make up a ring either in flight or get lucky. There'll be another one that spawns I'm able to grab.
You can get that ring just like without flying and without anything, just with Banjo alone. But it takes a really precise and like hard jump to do. There are setups for it, but sometimes they'll just not work.
Yeah, I screwed up the setup. That's weird.
So now we're entering the matching period. So yeah, he just has this pattern memorized in the fastest order. The best you can get on the timer, well, actually it might be a 70. A really good time to get on the timer is 69. So hopefully you can get that, but I don't think it will. It's pretty hard.
And I actually do them a little out of order, just because I haven't memorized the right one, I guess. But
Yeah.
I don't think I'm the only
Most
one that's
top
ever done.
runners have 69, just barely consistent, which is amazing.
The way I did it is not optimal, but you can technically still get a 69 if you do that order. So.
Shooting eggs into these heads are really hard. Because when they're turning, there's like, I think it's 1 frame, maybe a few frames, where right when it's turning back, like if you shoot an egg into it, it just won't count. Which really messes up your like momentum, or like your flow.
And if you notice that ring, I actually didn't go through it, but hitboxes are so scuffed in this game, it gave it to me anyways.
Yeah. What are hitboxes? Right?
Yeah.
Oh no! Grab her.
Yeah, I messed that up. That's alright. Gonna do it again.
Grabba is hard. Because flying is
Oh
hard.
boy.
Aiming beak bombs is pretty rough. The main thing to always try to remember... Oh no! Not again. The main thing to try to remember is that your beak bomb aims for the center of the camera, not like where Banjo is facing. So that often like messes with people's mind. But eventually, most people get a good feel for it.
There we go. 3rd time's the charm.
Yes. Yeah, you can still hear the running shoes theme because the game thinks that you just got it with speed shoes. So then the speed shoes music is in the background here if you can listen.
I've always been wondering why that happened.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird how no one ever expected to get into flight or something until people started doing it. So here's another ring that we're getting. You'll see that he faces the camera towards the hill, so the ring isn't on the screen until he jumps on top of it. And he's going for this backup ring since he missed another one. This is a cool ring to get. Some nice little slope abuse.
It was a little low, a little scary. That's alright, we made it. Alright. And we're good.
That is scary.
What that noises?
Okay.
I don't.
Normally you
Not
would bomb the rock, but it doesn't really matter that much. It's like 5-6 seconds of time loss.
Worry about it.
More time loss if you do the water pyramid clip, but that clip is really hard, and
My doors.
the route that you have to do because of that clip is even harder. Staying in flight while getting the jiggy and hitting the rock, that's like probably the hardest thing in Babies. Because you have to do a really precise beak bomb on a specific part of the rock in order to stay in flight. So now he's approaching his last ring. If you've noticed, or if you know the level layout, then you'll notice that he got the exact same ring 4 times. It would have been 5, but he kind of messed up one of the earlier rings, so he had to get it back up. I definitely did not know that you get the same ring 5 times until I started running the game, because the layout of this level is really confusing. It takes quite a while to memorize it. You're in Sandy Butt's tomb. Hopefully he can get it. Let's see. Nice. We just use that slope right there to just jump right on top of the maze and skip everything. It's really fast. It feels really good to get it fast. Now these pots are the worst. They're just like almost impossible to get into. You have to like inch yourself just so little, just so you can fall right through. There's a nice quick dive right there. That quick dive is really fun. It's really useful. What can happen is if you quick dive too fast, you can end up hitting the water and like hitting the ground while you're still in the animation of getting out of Talon Trot, which makes the game think that there's no water there. So then you'll just take damage. Can suck because health management is important for the end here.
Just had to check my health there real quick. Speaking of health management,
Yep.
forgot what it was.
4 health is perfect. Here, I like the slope abuse that he uses, where he jumps on the wall, then jumps to the tree, then jumps to Trunker with the speed shoes. It's like the most swag thing you could do. Like, who needs to climb trees? You can just jump on walls.
Right. Just like that. Should be at 90 notes. Perfect. Oh yeah. We're good now.
Clean.
You guys are... I was about 90% sure the run was going to end there. Gobi's Valley is known to...
Out of Gobies, we're
A lot of dead banjos in Gobi's Valley. Bear skeletons laying around.
Yeah, lots of bears getting stuck in the quicksands.
Yeah.
here. You can just roll right into this sarcophagus, or coffin, whatever, and you just get the jigging side. Normally you're supposed to hit the witch switch in the maze, but since we can do that, we just skip it. Which is good for us, because it saves quite a bit of time. Now here we are entering the long, very long section of opening MMM, Mad Monster Mansion, where you have to swim all the way to the puzzle through a few loading zones, climb up a few alcoves, open the jigsaw puzzle, then swim all the way back. It's really long, which is why a lot of people want MMM early to be RTA viable. It is possible in PAL TAS as of now, which has been discovered, I think roughly a year ago.
I think
not
so. I
RTA.
feel like it was last year.
Yeah, it's not RTA viable yet.
Unfortunately, that would be crazy if PAL became faster than DSC.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was discovered by the 8-bit Beast, one of the architects of this game, I like to say.
Alright. Nice. It's a fitting title for sure.
This is
By the
probably
way-
my favorite quick dive in the game. The quick dive after the whip crack to go down to that tunnel. If you do it right, then you're just perfectly at the tunnel, and you go so deep.
Oh yeah, it's real nice.
Yeah.
Real smooth when you get that. I feel like a baller. By the way, there is, for any glitch hunters out there, I'll do the little plug as me. There is a $100 prize from a certain runner out there. So
For anyone who can get MMM early in the RTA, you can like find it RTA.
yeah, or it is useful, I guess. Yeah. Nice. I didn't ask permission to plug it, so I won't say the user name. But sure, he would happily pay up if you found it. Oh yeah, already opened that. I think it would save like what, minutes at least?
Probably like 2-3 minutes. More than the RBA route.
definitely be out there with the probably more save than the Furnace Fun skip that we'll see later.
Yeah. But knowing this game, if there was an RTA way of doing MMM early, then it would probably have some sort of RNG to it, where it would kill every run possible.
Oh yeah.
Just because this game hates us. Hates us all. See right there, he shot an egg. It's just a little cool shot to open the barrel at the other side of the room, so we can get the Jinjo here without leaving Caltrot. That room is probably my favorite room. It just feels nice. Like
Okay.
MMM. Oh no.
Now you
These
at least.
bats are so annoying. They're actually like the worst. I've lost countless minutes to them in through my entire course of running this game. It's such a pain. Sometimes I just kill them, even though it loses me like a lot of time. I'm just like, nah. You're not surviving today, bro. Just out of spite.
Definitely.
MMM here is really, really hard level. It's not filled with so many tricks. But like, it's probably the most movement intensive level there is. So every single like mistake you make,
Up here.
it like hurts. Oh no!
So yeah, the ground pound is really fast there. And so you're actually able to clip through some things if you ever.
You made a mistake there of falling off, but it was cool to show the setup for the recovery, where you can backflip from the window ledge and then just beak bust right through the pipe or whatever. I believe it happens because of lag. So I don't think it happens on the Xbox version.
I did it on purpose so we could show that trick off.
Yeah.
We'll say that anyways.
Yeah. Intentional. It's intentional.
Sure. I fell off on purpose.
In this maze, these ghosts can screw you over pretty badly.
Get out of here.
Hopefully they don't get in the way too much here. These guys, man. No. Okay, you got me. Sometimes they just like keep following you no matter what. And then we're just like, go away, man. We don't want to see you. Right there, he did a cool jump off of the honey hive. So that hive jumps up and down, when it's at the peak of its jump and you jump off of it, then you can go on top of the maze and then just jump over the wall. It's a little precise, but it's not that bad. Mainly because a lot of people have trouble with it, but you can legitimately stand on top of the hive for like a solid 2 cycles where it jumps up and down. So you can jump on the hive right away, then take your time for it to go to the top and then jump. Here we're entering Tumblr. Tumblr the Mighty, I shall say. Tumblr is really hard. Greetings, O Solid One.
Yeah, I like how he calls you Solid One.
One thing that's interesting is if you skip this text box that's right there on the screen right now, I've noticed that the timer counts down faster. It was weird because I've always skipped that text box. Then every time I was doing a run, I was like, where am I losing time on the timer? Then I realized, wait a minute, if I don't skip that text, then my timer just goes slower.
I realized that. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. It doesn't make a difference RTA wise, but for that in-game timer specifically, it's weird. Probably lag, but I don't know.
Makes sense. Yeah. Trying to grab the Jiggy and jump off at the same time there. If you're able to do that, you can skip the Jiggy Jig just because you are in the water when it.
When you jump in the water with the Jiggy, then you'll have the Jiggy in your hand. So then to actually collect the Jiggy, you have to jump out of the water, then jump back in. So, yeah. I think it saves, like, if you get the token, if you want to get the token, then doing the whole Jiggy Jig skip saves, like, 7 seconds. Not getting it in a run can be rough sometimes. But luckily here, the token route isn't super precise or whatever, so you don't need that token if you fail it. It's good because the only other way to get that token is to either shoot 3 eggs at the whip crack or gold feather it. And most people would want to keep their resources, so they just skip it anyways. Now here's Matsan.
Matsan, interesting. He plays the same thing every time, so you can memorize the pattern and actually let you play ahead of him. You don't have to wait for him to show you the pattern, so go for it. And I forgot what I was doing. Ah, crap. Okay.
Nice.
Ba-dun-dun. I think I despawned the ghost.
Where is
Not
it?
really.
What? Where'd he go? What?
I'm not complaining.
I've never seen that before. What? He just disappeared. There's usually a ghost there.
Heard him do his little thing, but maybe he was
he's off.
just really falling off.
That's good.
Nice for me.
Sometimes he can get in your way while you're trying to get the note, so you have to kill him. Now he's transforming into the pumpkin. This pumpkin section is pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Just gonna get the stuff that only the pumpkin can get, and then death warp in the well. And it's important to end on the pumpkin because there's mandatory lair stuff that you have to do as the pumpkin in order to beat the game. So that means that you'll see the pumpkin in every single category, except for Xbox, I believe. Xbox any percent. Because in Xbox any percent, there's a glitch that lets you start in the demo file, so you can start in RBB and you don't have to raise the water. But on N64, you have to raise the water in order to like access the rest of the levels. You'll see you can go to the water switch shed in just a moment. And here he's going down Lago, which is pretty nasty, but there's a Jiggy, so it's worth it. Even Grunty says how nasty it is. Like right after, right here. You're not gonna see the whole text, but you'll see Grunty starting to talk. She just says, "I can't believe he went in there."
Coming up on that death warp now.
Yep. Ideally, you would do this with 1 health, but this well can be really hard sometimes, and you'll get hit. It's really scary to do it with 1 health. Most people do it with 2 health, even in runs.
Yeah, you just stay right there, Ghost. There you go.
Yeah, this ghost control you sometimes when you try to break the switch, or like hit the switch. Sometimes.
Yeah. He's behaving today.
So now it's an intentional reset. Just so he can
yeah.
go back to the start and not have to transform into the pumpkin and go back. It actually would be faster to transform back into the pumpkin and just go back out of the lair. But there's this Jiggy that you have to get, the Clanker's Lair Jiggy, which makes it slower. Because there would be no other place for you to get it.
Actually, I have a question. Is there a reason for you guys to always do a run on file 3?
Yeah, so mainly it's not that big of a difference. You can do a run on file 1, but file 1 has a bit more lag to it, just like the animation for starting the file. So file 3 is a bit faster.
Gotcha.
So yeah, most people set up their FFM file on file 1 or file 2. File 2 would be roughly the same, but it's easier to just mash right to go to the third file. So now it's time for Freeze Easy Peak. This level is pretty straightforward. I think most people would consider it the second easiest level, but it still has quite a few things that can be hard. Boggy races, a few small flying sections, snowmen. And that's just about it, I think.
So here we're actually doing a cool little thing where if you stand right here at the very beginning, second two things that come out to eat the twinglies will actually not spawn, or at least they won't destroy the twinglies. So
Yeah. Oh
sit
no,
here and
a
watch.
stream. Okay.
And then about here you can take off because the last one's being in. Yeah. Always found that mini game kind of difficult playing it casually.
Yeah,
So.
you probably can't see it right now because stream's like a PowerPoint
Oh, we're back.
presentation.
We're back.
But what's happening is that he's doing the strat. So there's this cool little strat that I found recently where if you stand below the present and face down, there's like less lag on the screen, so you can leave like 1 second earlier. And it's pretty cool. But in general, what's happening here is that he hits a Twinkly Muncher and then goes off screen so that the rest of them don't like spawn. They make the sound of them spawning, but like they don't spawn. And then he could just go across. If this trick wasn't a thing, then I would say this minigame would be worse than Vile. I'm very happy that's a thing. It's too cold, the game freezes. Yep.
I'm sure there's a Game of Thrones reference somewhere in that.
Nice. So if you saw right there, you're supposed to go through the star 3 times. He beak bombed through it once, then on his way back, he flew through it once, and then he beak busted. So he ground pounded, and then went through it the 3rd time. It's a cool little trick. The fastest way of doing it is to just jump through it, then jump back, then beak bust. Well, that can be a little precise. The half yellow is what Crosby did there, and it's really good for a lot of like beginner runners or something. I think it only loses like 2-3 seconds to optimal, so it's not that bad.
Okay. Camera?
Okay, so second.
Yeah, it's gonna work.
Snowman he's doing right now. It's pretty hard. Mainly it's just a bunch of beak bombs. This is where knowing how to aim your beak bomb comes into play the most. And knowing... Because the snowmen, they're going to throw snowballs at you. And when they throw a snowball at you, they like move, then like juke your beak bomb. So then you end up just like going straight past through them. It's pretty hard to predict them. But with enough practice, it can be easy.
Right, next transformation into a walrus.
Nice.
His big old teeth.
Yeah, the walrus is pretty slow. Like, he just moves slow. So we try to do just like just the minimum that you can do with him. There are a few things that you must be the walrus for. So mainly we just go to the boggy race with the walrus, then just head back. And get a few notes along the way.
get a little head start there if you can manage to
Yep.
jump as soon as you hit the sled. And
That's just nice small time saver right there. If you hit the sled, if you jump on the sled, then jump right away, you can get a small head start. I think it saves like half a second maybe.
yeah.
A lot of cool little time saves in the run. So the walrus in the sled is actually pretty fast. It's kind of fast. The main thing that you always want to do is that when you're turning, you want to make sure you jump with your turn, because it's just like very hard to turn otherwise. Just gotta take that straight line and turn to make the next straight line. So Boggy here, most people have probably heard it already, but he rubber bands. So what happens is if you get too far ahead, he'll start to zoom right past you. But if you go far behind him, then he'll just slow down. And we abuse that mechanic in the run a bit. And Boggy there just pushed the walrus backwards, which is dumb. Ideally, you want him to push you to the Jiggy, but he pushed you back. Here, this was a text is the only unskippable text in the game. Don't know why.
Really weird. Very odd.
Now he's done the race and he's just gonna head back to Mumbo's hut.
So, even with Kazooie, actually, but for the walrus to jump up hills,
Yep.
and it's makes it a little bit faster. Not like the whole jumping with walrus, but
Yeah. I haven't mentioned it before, but the fastest movement now is to be in Talon Trot and to jump. Like, just do a bunch of constant jumps. So what happens when you jump, the game accelerates you to your max speed as fast as you can. However, there are a few exceptions, sort of. For example, going downhill, you just walk downhill, then it's faster than jumping downhill. And jumping uphill is much faster than just walking uphill. So in order to try and stay at your top speed, you want to keep jumping. Because you lose speed when you turn. So ideally you would want to jump while you're turning, or jump to turn. I like to think of it like a car, because when you try and turn when you're in a car, then you have to slow down. That's pretty much what happens here. You slow down when you turn. But if you were to imagine a car that just jumped and kept its like fastest velocity, then it's really fast. Ooh, that was scary. Intentional fall damage, but he almost missed the ledge, which would have sucked. Now we're just giving the presents to the kids. These ungrateful kids. They ruin us. In the next game, in Banjo-Kazooie, they end up becoming a problem for us, like in the speedrun, because they're RNG wherever they are. And in the 100% route, you have to find all of them. And then they can lose up to like 30 seconds. So you reward them here, but they punish you in the next game.
So health management's a big issue with FP2. Freezy's. So right here, you ideally want to be at 5 optimally health,
Yep.
but I'm kind of playing it safe in 7. And at the end of Easy Peak, you'll kind of see why we need a certain amount of health. We'll do that. But you're going to take 4 damage, grab the last collectible, Death Ward. This game is so fun. I love playing with this game.
Yep. Alright, so this is roughly the end of Freezy Peak. The last Jiggy he's gonna get, it's not this Jiggy, it's the next Jiggy. It's gonna be the Jinjo Jiggy, and it's gonna be his 10th Jiggy, which means he's gonna do the full dance. This is the only level where you do the full dance at the end. Like, intentionally. We've tried finding ways around it, but we can't. Without having a bad rap. So now you can see his little nice dance that's like 8 seconds long or something.
Okay, so here you're taking this damage with the ice, and it's basically a glitch where it's trying to put you back at the top of the water because you're not supposed to be able to swim in this water. It's icy. But since you kind of went in a tunnel there, it doesn't really let you go to the top. So you can make it back here like that. You take 4 health damage doing that, but if you fail it and you don't get in the tunnel, you have to go back. You'll take 2 extra. So if I'm playing it safe, I'll just stick with 7 and then kind of do what you saw there to finish off the rest of them.
So this split right here, RBB, I'd say it's probably the hardest for beginners. One of the hardest. Mainly because of a few things. The lair section and engine room. Because those 2 things can be really hard. Right here in the lair section, he has to get this Jiggy while staying in flight. And as I've said before, flying is really hard in this game. Staying in flight while getting this Jiggy can be difficult. Nice. So he got that. Now he's making his way to the FP entrance. Because there's another Jiggy there that we have to get. It's pretty cool here. If you just beak bomb right at this wall, you'll get the Jiggy on the other side. Oh no. Right. There we go. Normally you're supposed to hit the witch switch, but since we can do that, we don't. Then he just gets the speed shoes and starts to make his way to RBB.
Remember, if you haven't played this game casually, in Mad Monster Mansion, afterwards we used the pumpkin to go into that little shed, raise the water, and so now when we went through that load zone, it's different. It's the load zone's under water, or the exit to it rather. So you end up swimming instead. And we're going to raise the water a second time here. Actually, a lot of the routing in this game, the order that things are done in is because you have to hit these water switches to get to these levels. Even in other categories besides 100%, that's true. Especially in other categories.
Alright, RBB. This level, I'd say it's probably just as movement intensive as Mad Monster Mansion, but it's kind of different because there's like two things that are somewhat inconsistent that changes your like split time a lot. One of it's the window clip at the end of Engine Room, and another is the frame perfect boss boombox skip, which you can't really expect to get every time. But other than those two, like this level is really movement intensive. Yeah, this level is pretty hard casually too. It's even harder in the speedrun because we don't slow down the fans in Engine Room.
That was a little scary.
Yeah. These rollers can be hard. Rolling as much as these rollers in Engine Room. That's how deep I've been rolling.
Oh!
Oh no!
Didn't expect.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
I did that exact same thing like yesterday, where I got the clip first try, and then I just walked right out.
Yes.
Just slipping right
I think
off.
you're like so focused on the one thing that you forget about some other things. Oh well. There we go. Take 2.
Bane of your child existence. RBB, I actually think is my favorite level for speedrunning. Engine Room can be hard, but it feels so good going so fast. Like you can just like YOLO everything, and most of the time it works, but sometimes it screws you over and you die.
Okay. Made sure I got on the platform before I turned that thing.
Nice.
One more, and then my nerves will be calm. Alright.
Clean.
The second one's not nearly as bad as the first, but still.
Yeah, the second one's much more lenient, much easier. Some people some people do it in Talent Shot, the second one, because it's so easy now. I've started doing it in Talent Shot, even though I probably shouldn't.
Realized that. I knew they could be done in Talent Shot, but I didn't know people were splitting them like that.
Just the second one though. The first one should always be done rolling. There's a nice little quick dive there. That quick dive is a bit hard to control because you want to quick dive just to the level of that hole, not too deep. But sometimes you can overshoot it and you just go way down.
Yeah, then you have to like wait for him to kind of surface a little bit.
So he got that jiggy pretty cleanly. Normally it's pretty hard to do because those propellers, they're not always in the exact same spot, so you sort of have to improvise every time and like figure out a way around them, or in order to get the jiggy cleanly and to like leave that place at the same time.
You'll notice he's slope glitched twice there to get out of the water.
Yeah. This is the other place where slope glitch is used mainly. So you don't have to use the tolls. You can slope glitch across the entire thing without entering the water, but it's kind of hard and it's kind of precise. But as long as you can just slope glitch to the top from the water, then it's fine.
Frame perfect. Nope.
So here, this is
Go
what I was
ahead.
talking about. There's a frame perfect trick here where if you get the jiggy and you get hit on the exact same frame, then you can skip the jiggy jig and then just walk right back out. That trick saves like a whopping like 7 seconds or something. And it kind of decides a lot of the split, whether it's going to gold or not for a lot of top runners. It's pretty hard. Some people have tried making setups for it, but it's still pretty inconsistent regardless because it's frame perfect.
Yeah, I think Hellfoes has a certain way he does it every time.
Yeah.
It's kind of janky a little bit, but it works. So.
Yep. Here's a nice little fun part of RBB, these 3 blue crates, because you're just going in and out of crates, getting everything you need, getting out as fast as you can.
So many loads in this level.
Yeah. I actually believe that Xbox saves like quite a bit on this level, just because of loading zones.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Loading zone here is like 2-3 seconds, but in Xbox they're like instant. And so if there's like 20 loading zones, which there's more in this level, more than 20, and that's
Right.
like a minute. This level in MMM. This level especially because Xbox loses time to text skipping, which is why it's not faster right now. But this level has like no text, so it's pretty much the same as N64, except for the loading zones are like much faster.
Not to mention, not to worry about the lag.
Yeah, lag too. Lag is kind of a hard one. Lag sometimes matters. Most of the time, this game compensates for lag by speeding up Banjo. So normally this game runs at 30 frames per second. And if you lose like a few frames, if you're going at like 20 frames per second, then the game will speed you up, will speed Banjo up just to compensate. But if you go below 20 frames per second, then you'll actually start to lose time to lag. Because it only speeds you up like 1.5 times.
Oh, I don't think I've ever done that before. That was weird. Oh well. I don't think this is possible now. It may be in a perfect world. But...
Ideally, what would happen there is you'd get the jiggy, and then you'd go in the loading zone before that cutscene plays. So I feel like sometimes it can be inconsistent. I don't know why. I feel like it doesn't really work 100% of the time, but most of the time it does work.
It kind of starts playing when it wants to. It seems like.
Yeah.
I agree. I'll take it. Let's walk. Let's go. Okay.
These chompers, man, scary. Good thing you have a lot of health.
Yeah, I'm alright. Yes, I'm alright. I have a real bad habit of sliding off there. So here you have to enter a code to get this jiggy. If you're not familiar with this casually. And it's the same code every time, so it's just memorize. Make your collection. And if you stand there, a lot of jiggies like this, but if you stand there, you can start the jiggy jig during the cutscene. There's a lot of jiggy. We try to like already be in position for kind of thing, where you can kind of overlap the two and save just a couple seconds here and there. So. That's probably the scariest in the world. If you have a good setup for it, it's not bad, but...
Yeah. So here in this room, normally you're supposed to just climb the boxes to get the jiggy, but if you just flutter right away, you can just flutter straight to the corner and get the jiggy. It's real nice. Skip all that platforming. Then just get these nuts and dip. There's a nice little damage boost he did there, so he doesn't have to backflip to the top, and so he can lose some health. This room can be kind of scary because you're walking straight through the room while the chompers are live. But if you walk
just like that.
precisely enough, then they won't hit you. Oh, they hit you. Oh no. Careful. I said just gold feather them if you can.
I was really lucky. I went to cancel talent shot and
Oh god.
got it like in the same frame.
It's scary. It's good. Chompers do 2 damage, so you want to be at 3 health.
And
From like this level onwards, everything does like 2 damage. So being at 2 health is pretty much the same thing as being at 1 health.
Yeah, you want to have 3 health for sure.
Minimum, yeah.
Based. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, good snacker. Good boy.
Here's Snacker once again, the scary shark. See if he can do this trick here.
Why am I underwater?
Oh no. Oh no, careful. Okay. Alright, so he skipped the Jiggy Jig. So he skipped the last Jiggy Jig. So what happened there was, he was in the water, then he jumped to get the Jiggy before he touched the ground. So the game sort of still thinks you're in the water. Which means, and if you get a Jiggy Jig while you're in the water, and if you get a Jiggy while you're in the water, then you skip the dance. So that's why he's able to skip the dance there.
Alright, little death warp, little death.
Yeah, another death warp here.
Cool. On to the last level of the game, casually, and in this version of the route at least. And after that you have a little furnace fun, kind of like a end of the game thing you do, almost really like a false ending, where you're supposed to finish furnace fun and save 2D, but we have a skip for that as well, so we actually don't do that. And then afterwards you can go fight Grunty and get the real ending kind of thing.
This whip crack room can be hard. But there's some movement that you can do in order to just get past them all. Right there, he did leaf jump. It's pretty
Well,
funky. How did you fall?
Well, I still got first try leave jump though.
Yeah, first try.
yeah. So this is the way you normally get up here.
It's pretty finicky. It's not consistent, but it does save time. I think if you get it third try, then it's equal with going around. So usually it's worth it if you can position yourself properly.
Always heard third tries. It's okay. It's like about the same.
So now this is where we use the ding pot we opened earlier after Treasure Trove Cove. Just so we can warp back, because to open Click Clock Wood, you have to open the puzzle that's way back, like right beside Treasure Trove Cove. So this is probably the biggest backtracking in the game. So CCW early would help a lot.
Yeah, for sure. My token count's a little low here. I don't always have
Yeah,
a set number of tokens.
you're like
Have
one.
every.
That's fine.
It's namely because there's a lot of extras you can get. So if I miss one, instead of just backtracking, I just kind of make up for it later. So,
Yeah.
But that's
Oh no, this is
17.
gruntling, man. I swear, all these guys are trolls. All these gruntlings, they're all always in the way.
Another one.
I knew it.
I
I
see
knew
it.
it. This guy too. This guy's the worst. And literally always, when you're going to the ding pot, he just smacks you. It's like
Yeah, you
always.
kind of make that jump without really seeing where he's at first. So just hope he's not there. Yeah. It's a little bit of a late entrance to Click Clock Wood here because of that layer section.
One interesting thing that just happened there was he busted the spring button, and he got into Talon Trot right before the cutscene played. And then after the cutscene finished, he was still in Talon Trot. It doesn't normally happen, but since the cutscene was in the same loading zone as where he like hit the button, then he stays in Talon Trot. It's something that I'm noting now because it's something that I'll explain a bit more later. Because it has something to do with the Furnace Fun skip. So now he's just going to climb the tree. The Click Clock Wood route is usually one of the hardest for beginners to remember. Mainly, I just like to think of it as in every level you just climb the tree, and in winter you fly up the tree and climb down. Basically. In fall you go around the tree first and then you climb up. But yeah, most of them are just like climb up the tree and jump down. And here we open Irie. Gotta feed him throughout the entire Click Clock Wood. I think, how many worms is it? 15? Yeah, 15 worms overall. 5 in summer and 10 in fall. All for 1 Jiggy.
Yeah. He's slow, Jiggy.
Yep.
TBH. TBH.
Ooh, pretty low health. Okay, good. Getting that safety health. These leaves right here that he's backflipping on are actually like the hardest thing in Click Clock for me. They're just impossible. They have the worst hitboxes ever. And to do them fast is like even harder. Here's this backup token.
There was a quicker one in spring, but honestly, just forgot to grab it. So that same area, but it's a little faster to grab that one. So.
Yeah. Here's the Zubba Hive. So for this, we just gold feather everything because we're lazy.
Basically.
Yep, pretty much. The cat pecks all these guys, but that's kind of hard. There's too many button presses for us.
Well, okay. There we go. Cool little invulnerability frames there.
Yep.
To use.
If you beak bust on the ground, and then during the recoil you move off the ledge, then you won't take fall damage, no matter how high it is. It's not lazy as smart. I guess you could say that. Here we got a free naughty because in fall or winter there's a G there that you have to get.
Yeah, I do it in fall myself.
Yeah, fall. You can get it in winter, but the problem is that in winter if you get it, then you have to stay in flight and get it, which actually does lose a lot of time if you fail it. Because in that flight section you have to stay in flight in order to leave the level. But if you fail it, then it wastes like up to 30 seconds. Only for like a 4-second, 5-second time save.
Yeah, I ain't about that life.
Yeah. Here climbing up the leaves, this is pretty hard. Can be hard sometimes. But luckily he's just gonna kill the bird. Hashtag kill the animals.
I feel a lot better about my token count now, to be honest. 22's alright right there. Oh, come on. Okay. Whew.
Oh god. Okay.
That was a little close. A little secure. And I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna be a baby.
Yeah.
And use the broken game to my advantage.
Yep, you can just shoot this egg right behind the treehouse to get the Jiggy. It's slightly slower than just jumping straight across the large gap. It is so much safer. And I've recently timed it. Jumping across the entire gap saves like less than 2 seconds. So it's like not worth it. It's easy sometimes, but it's super punishing for a tiny mistake.
Using some slope abuse there.
Yeah.
We like that slope abuse. It's our friend.
Yep. I
I
was beating Irie for the first time. So you can just go to sleep. That's summer. Oh, you didn't split for spring one.
Oh, whoops. I've been doing no RVA, and
Oh yeah.
Click Clock 8 minutes, so I have one split for it, so I'm not used to splitting every season. But thank you for reminding me. Let me fix that. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I also, as me, I split a little differently in Quick Clock Everybody, just because, I don't know, I didn't take the time to figure out how most people do it. I
Yeah.
just do my own thing.
Generally, how people split is that they split on leaving a season, but if they void out, then they split on entering the next season. That's pretty much how it goes. It's standard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I do it on entering summer.
Mhm.
I do it on, I forget now. I do it on entering summer and exiting summer. So it's like I add time to spring
Oh, yeah.
and fall instead. I don't know really why I started doing that, but yeah. I don't have a good reason for it. I just am scuffed.
So now autumn here has a lot of notes. So in spring, summer, and winter, there's 16 notes in each, and then there's 4 notes in the lobby. Then fall just like destroys all of them and has 48 notes. So you gotta spend quite a bit of time here, get a lot of notes. And this level is very laggy. I'd say this level is like the prequel to Tui, the direct prequel. Because there's a lot of cutscenes, very laggy. It's a very big level.
Yeah, you're about to see a 10-second jiggy jiggy here because of the lag.
Yeah.
Instead of a 4.
Yeah. Normally jig jigs are like almost 5 seconds. This one's like above 6 seconds just because of lag. So yeah, this route, he just went around the tree, doing a bunch of preliminary stuff. Now he's just gonna go climb up, just like every other season. Getting some worms, because Irie needs to be fed. Because apparently we're their parents. Is that the boy Tylenol in chat? The homie.
The Tylenol.
Yeah. Feed him once every couple of months. Hey man, we only freed him. We didn't sign up for this parenting business. So now here at the acorn section. This can be pretty hard. but it looks like it's going pretty smooth. This acorn right here is like the scariest thing ever. Gotta go slow. Sometimes to go fast, you gotta go slow.
Huh. For sure. There you go, Navnet.
Didn't give Nabnut all his nuts.
Yeah.
This fatso ate all of his nuts too early. Now he's starving.
Yep. I think I'm just gonna kill these real quick. Play a little safe there. So,
Irie is infamous for making us not have the ability to route. Like, there's a lot of different routing opportunities that we want to do, but since we need worms in order to feed Irie, it just like ruins everything. A bunch of cool things we could do, but we can't. And here's a nice little clip that saves a bit of time. Fall clip. Basically, what's happening is he gets stuck on the slope, and while he's stuck on it, he's building downwards velocity. And once he gets enough velocity, then he moves to the side where there's like a small hole because of weak geometry. So he just clips right through it. And it helps just to leave the level. Yep. Now winter. Winter's pretty scary. There's a lot of flying, a lot of potential to die because it's really slippery, and snowmen can snipe you, and enemies can hit you right off the tree. But hopefully it goes well.
Camera? Okay, there we go.
Killing that grublin with a beak bust is always so brutal. He's just minding his own business, and out of nowhere, he just looks up, and then there's a bird just slamming right down on him.
I feel no remorse. Oh, okay. So you're supposed to get that note, but...
Oh no. Oh.
Okay, Irie. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go grab the note first, and then I'm gonna come back to Irie. That's what I'm gonna do. Two.
Gotta be careful with this feather count.
2, 3, 4.
Overall in winter, you need like, I think
9.
31 feathers minimum. Which is a lot.
Should I land here? Intentionally?
You should, I guess you could land here, then get the Jiggy and Spring, because you don't have a lot of feathers.
Yeah, I guess. That's true. I wasn't even looking at my feather count. Oh well. I'll have to get a refill too. On
There's a
feathers.
few feathers inside Nabnut's house if you need it. But I don't.
Oh,
you
that's
don't-
true.
you don't. I don't think you need it. So yeah, he's supposed to get this Jiggy at the top of the tree, just like way up. But right now he doesn't have that many feathers, so he's just gonna get it as the bee in Spring 2 instead.
Yeah.
This room has the best music in my opinion. So calming, so soothing, but you don't get to hear any of it because you're in that room for like 2 seconds. Sucks. Time for winter clips. Oh no! A bit too high and a bit too far right. It's fine, it's fine.
Everything's
Got this.
it's good. It's good.
Clip 1, clip done.
I need that. I can't. We might be going ice here.
Maybe.
Yep, we're going ice.
Oh. Normally you're supposed to do another
This is
clip
a back
by
clip.
the fireplace. It's a little precise. He doesn't have enough feathers to do it, and he landed. So what he can do here instead is just clip through the ice, and then just leave the level like that. This can be scary, but usually it works out well.
Yeah, it could not end well if you're not careful.
So you got it. Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, that part is really scary casually, especially doing the casual way of going back to that little hole in the ice, because sometimes you're going to surface, but then you're not going to surface in the right place. So then the ice will just push you back underwater, which then makes you panic because you have so little time left. Because in that water, you take, like, you have half as much time as you usually do. Time for Spring. Remember the Jiggy.
Right. Yes.
Alright, we're washing machine-less. No washing this room. It's good.
There we go. Perfect. Crab.
Nice. Got that Jiggy. That Jiggy's available in both winter and spring. It's faster to do it in winter, but it's a good option. It's a good backup to it as the bee. Now we just enter the hive to leave. There's a nice little clip here that we can do to void out after this last Jiggy Jig that we skip. We leave by just clicking straight through the hive, just like that. Now we're done with Click Clock. Clean. Oh boy, time for Furnace Fun.
Yep. So that was the final level. Cool. Area that's
Fine.
kind of like a false ending if you beat it, but see, we'll actually skip it. That's here.
So coming up is Furnace Fun, and in Furnace Fun there's quite a bit. There's like a nice new trick that we found recently called Minpox Skip. So you'll see him do it in just a bit. So normally, on the Friends Fun board, you can't do any normal moves. But in between the tiles, there's like a 1 pixel line where you can do moves, like Talon Trot and stuff. And if you get into Talon Trot, so while you're getting into Talon Trot, the game doesn't register you as in Talon Trot until you're fully in Talon Trot. Which means that you can do actions as you could as just normal BK. So if you're getting into Talon Trot while you're on the board, on the death square, then you can answer the question. So if you combine that with that 1 pixel of line where you can do moves, you can answer the death score question, and then if you get it wrong, then the game recoils you differently because you're in Talon Trot, which keeps you on the board. And now there's a catch to it. If you get a picture question on this death square, it's really unfortunate. Wow, that was really fast. You got it first try. Okay. Ah, no, you got a grunty question and you got it right. That's another bad thing. If you get a grunty question, well, you don't. Grunty questions are RNG, so if you get it right, then it sucks. So then, what happens now is that he goes to the next death square. As I was saying before, if you get a picture question, then the game takes you out of Talon Trot. And when it does this because remember how I said that at the beginning of Click Clock Wood, you hit the spring button, and then you are able to stay in Talon Trot.
Shit.
Oh no.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Ah! Holy shit.
Oh no, dude.
Twice in a row, man. I'm gonna get this one wrong now. Yep. Yeah, okay. I see how it is. Oh my god. This is retarded.
Poor.
A hag out.
That's really unlucky.
It's 10% chance for a grunty question.
Yeah, and after you get a grunty question, you have, like, it's only 1 1/3 to get it right.
Yeah.
Holy crap, we're gonna freaking die. Okay. For which school? Saggy Maggie. Nope. Nope.
It's fine.
Lucky Charm. Sure. Okay, so what I'm gonna end up doing, guys, is actually killing myself, and we'll just start Fun over.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
The first death score is the easiest one too, so it's just better.
I can't believe that happened. That's crazy.
That's just the luck of the draw. Wow.
That's good. That's good.
So, I was saying before for picture questions, remember how I said at the beginning of Click Clock Wood, you hit that spring button and then you get into Talon Trot. And then since the game is in the same loading zone as the button, you stay in Talon Trot. But picture questions take you out to like a different loading zone to show you the picture. So then when it comes back, it takes you out of Talon Trot. Which means if you get the question wrong, then you'll just recoil you normally. So you'll just like die. That's why picture questions are really bad here. Picture questions are roughly 20%. Grunty questions are roughly 10%. And 1/3 of a chance of getting a grunty question right. It's like 23%, I guess. If someone's a math whiz and wants to correct me, go for it. Nice.
I think we're good now.
There we go.
Lost about nearly 3 minutes.
That was quite a bit of time.
Yeah. It was a little crazy, but we're good now.
That was a real, like, stab right in the heart. Getting the first try right away on gold pace and then getting a grunty question wrong. Right.
Yeah. First try is not...
It's not easy. Because it's actually a pixel perfect trick.
It's basically luck. I mean, it's not technically, but yeah. Oh,
You get on
I
feathers.
forgot feathers. So I have to go back and get my feathers now.
So here we get eggs because you use a lot of eggs in Grunty fight, so it's just like almost always worth it to get eggs. You use like I think 60 something eggs, maybe 70. In feathers, you need a minimum of 4 feathers, but the flying section is really hard. So normally it's just safe to get feathers. Here's the egg phase. Okay, so he skipped the first phase. Normally, Grunty flies back and forth and then just stops on a broomstick when it like powers down or something. And then you're supposed to peck her like 3 times. But what you can do is just poop eggs onto this castle thing. And then she just gets hit from that. Now this egg phase, you just shoot eggs at her. 3 eggs from each side. Now the flying phase, the hardest phase, definitely.
Oh, why did I do that?
Oh no. It's scary.
Okay, there we go.
Do you mean for this category, blueberry, for 100%? For this game?
Yeah, I think
100%.
his question is like, why is Hundo the main category of this game?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure mainly it's because in the other 90% categories, I'm pretty sure it's just because of dog skip. Dog skip is a frame, well, it's not frame perfect. You have 2 frames to do it. It's a really, really precise trick at the very end of the run that's like necessary because it saves like 10 minutes or something. Crazy.
Yeah, dog stands for Door of Grunty.
Yeah, Door of Grunty. There is a category called 90% No Dog, but it's still not that beginner friendly just because it still does FP early and RBA, which is hard to learn for a lot of people. 90% categories are pretty like hardcore. Yeah, RBA is cool. I like it a lot. And doing the actual 765 minute goal clip for RBA isn't hard itself, but the B movement is really hard. Like to do optimally and to do fast. There's just a lot of setups that goes into it. And doing one thing bad can like mess up your entire flow, and you end up losing like a lot of time. And then there's FP early, which itself is really hard to learn and to master.
Alright, here we go. The mighty Ginginator.
Time for the Ginginator. Oh yeah.
Alright.
Alright, GG.
Nice run.
Thank you. Thank you.
224 with 2 failed box skips. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And the death and
Yeah.
RBE.
Yeah, that definitely didn't help anything either. I'm fairly satisfied with that. I had fun still, so.
Yeah. Still made it under estimate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. Furnace Fun skip lost like 4 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a minute 30. That's good. Alright, that's the run.
That's 100%. That's thanks for the nice runs. That's Banjo-Kazooie, the main category, 100%. It's a really fun run, and even if you're not like a great speedrunner, I'm not either. So you can do this route, and it's still a lot of fun, even if you're.
A little fun fact: you see how Grunty just shot a fireball thing at Banjo right before she fell? I'm pretty sure originally that fireball was supposed to hit Banjo and like transform him into like a frog or something, and then the game would continue and have Tootie go and save Banjo. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. And it's like you're Tooie and you're just going through the same levels again.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
They just decided to cut it.
Interesting.
I would have really appreciated that, to be honest. Yeah. Asmi is the guy that's been commentating most of the time. He's top 10 runner, right? Are you top 10?
Not yet. Soon TM.
Oh, okay.
Soon TM. I thought you were, to be honest.
Yeah.
You're really close, though.
I'm really close, yeah.
Definitely
I
top tier, though.
Because right now, the gap between 7th and 6th is so big. So 7th is the best I can do.
Yeah, isn't it like a 204 to like a 20, like a high 206 or low 207?
It goes high 203 from a guy named Thunderful to a low 202 from a guy named Helphos.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Pretty big gap.
Wait, so top 6 is all 202 and under?
Yeah, top 5 is 201 and under, which is crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, and then Stivity Bobo, of course, just recently with that Furnace Fun skip got a 1:59.27.
Yep. Sub
So
2.
just got sub 2 hours.
Yep, sub 2.
Which was very hype, very hype time. That was what, 2 months ago, maybe. Month and a half.
And he's been getting runs lately, but it's been hard. He recently had a really, really good run that got 2 picture questions.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was so dumb.
Yeah.
That was rough. That could have been like a low 158, which is really good.
I know it was stupid good.
But yeah, so I appreciate you commentating though, Asmi. It's an honor to have you here. So and for sure, Void for hosting me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for doing this run.
Be part of the awesome tournament, man. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun watching this week. So
yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad you've been enjoying. Thank you once again for doing the run. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Asmi, for commentating.
No problem. Thank you for having me.